Walsh here. Passing a bill to allow the American people to keep more of their own money, that should be a very easy thing for Republicans to do. We'll talk about it when Freedom returns at 5.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. I just want to note our friend Ron from Berwyn making a strong case for LBJ as the worst president in American history. And there's a case to be made.
Yeah.
So it's a great discussion to have, worst presidents in American history, even the last 50 years. LBJ, Obama, Carter. Strong cases to be made for all three. But Carter, with that New York Times interview, I think
he's redeeming himself.
He inches ahead of those other.
Well, he's practical. Like letting people know the Russians did not change the votes.
Yeah, I think it's a fit of practicality from Jimmy Carter. I wouldn't get used to it. President Trump sat down with Maria Bartiromo. We played a little bit of what he had to say about tax and trade policy. Wide-ranging interview. It was very good, as Maria Bartiromo is a very good interviewer. And Trump also was asked to respond to the controversy and war of words between his chief of staff, General Kelly, and Florida Representative Frederica Wilson about his call to the widow of Sergeant Johnson, one of the 4 Green Berets killed in Niger. Here's President Trump answering that question.
The Congresswoman, Frederica Wilson, she said, everything he said was because he's just trying to keep his job.
Yeah, he doesn't need this job. In fact, he didn't really want this job. He was so happy. You know, he's a military guy. He was doing this incredible job on the border and elsewhere. You know, he ran Homeland like nobody has ever run it. Down 78% at the border crossings.
It's incredible.
That's before the war. There's nobody close. You go to the original first day, there was nobody close to doing the job. And I said, I'd like to take you. How would you like it? And it's not that he wanted it. Actually, he would have preferred doing and staying where he was. He is a man that felt it would be important for the country. He does it for the country. He's not doing it for what he wants. He does it for the country. This is a very unusual man. So when she made that statement, I thought it was sickening, actually.
Sickening. And Trump doubled down on what he had to say to Ms. Bartiromo over the weekend, tweeting about it. Tweeting about Representative Wilson in less than glowing terms, as you can imagine. Suggesting that she is,
he's been calling her wacky. Yeah, that's pretty much. He repeated what he tweeted the other day, and still keeping the narrative going. But without Twitter, he said he wouldn't. And without social media, he said he wouldn't be president. And he defends his right to tweet.
Tweeting is like a typewriter. When I put it out, you put it immediately on your show. I mean, the other day I put something out. 2 seconds later, I'm watching your show. It's up. Donald
You're right.
Trump
We're watching your Twitter feed.
Okay, and you know, they're well crafted. I was always a good student. I'm like a person that does well with that kind of thing. And I doubt I'd be here if it weren't for social media, to be honest with you, because there is a fake media out there. I get treated very unfairly by the media, and I have a tremendous platform.
Yeah, I'm not so sure he's as great with that sort of thing, meaning the use of the English language as he thinks he is, but apparently it's been effective. He's in the Oval Office. In addition to that, you have our friend Scott Adams, the Dilbert cartoon creator.
Yeah.
He had a good op-ed over the weekend in the Wall Street Journal, The Power of the Presidential Tweet, in which he defends Trump's usage of Twitter, too, and not because he's necessarily a defender of Trump, but just in terms of the efficacy of the communication. He writes, does Adams, if you think Mr. Trump's tweets are nothing but thin-skin reflex, you're missing a great show. Historians and trained persuaders will be analyzing his extraordinary Twitter game for hundreds of years, wondering how much of it was based on training and how much of it was pure instinct. Okay, I mean, this is Scott Adams still making the case that Trump is a genius communicator. I see some of what he's saying, and other things about what he's suggesting with respect to Trump's communication skills, I find it kind of be bootstrapping an argument, just because he's been somewhat successful politically, certainly electorally, politically, individually. We'll just see how far that extends. Anyway, interesting comments from the president, both on his defense of his use of Twitter, as well as his defense of his chief of staff in the face of calls for an apology from Representative Wilson. For more on these and other topics, we're pleased to be joined by our friends, the lovely ladies of punditry. They are Diamond and Silk, hosts of The Viewer's View. Diamond and Silk, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Thank Thank you for having us.
So, what do you say in response to Representative Wilson and the Congressional Black Caucus, all of whom are demanding an apology from General Kelly to Representative Wilson and to the country?
Well, I think that she is the one that needs to apologize. She the one took her rodeo clown show on the road.
That's right.
To try to sensationalize a story to gain some type of political clout. And here's the point that everybody is missing. She started talking to the media. I wanted to talk to the president. But here's the deal. If you was on speakerphone and you heard the president saying something that he shouldn't have been saying, you had the platform to say something to the president. That lets me know she's an alleged liar. It didn't go down that way. She took something and she ran with it because she don't like the president.
Right.
So he can't do nothing right in her eyes. She is the one that needs to apologize. She is the one that took this here and ran with it while this poor lady, her husband passed away. Threw her into politics. Listen, these Gold Star families and these families, they do not want to be in politics, and she did it. She should apologize to the whole nation.
Well, do you understand the relationship between the Congresswoman and the family?
She relationship.
No, well, she was. They knew her long before she was a lawmaker.
If you were on speakerphone and you thought that the president said something wrong, you could have intercepted. But she claims, I asked to speak to him. Well, who did you ask? Because if y'all was all on speakerphone, you heard the president and he could hear you. I think what she did was sensationalize that and blew that out of proportion and took that out of context to try to make our president look bad. And she need to apologize. Make her round shows like she did before. Make them to all of the networks and apologize to the nation.
See, I think you're onto something when you suggest that she doesn't like the president. So whatever she heard that she thought was untoward, she construed negatively rather than giving the president the benefit of doubt, like you would give any president who's calling the widow of a fallen soldier to try and console her, to offer kind words, like any president would do. But for some reason, because it's Trump, you don't give him the benefit of the doubt, and you're looking to seize on something even when it isn't there. And I think that's why you had this other Gold Star widow, Natasha D. Alencar, release a video of her call with the president from back in April when her husband was killed in Afghanistan. And I think it really...
Black woman.
Right, yes.
To be a black woman.
Right.
You mean to tell me, are you telling us that, he called the other three and it was good, but this one person, he wanted to be mean? No, that's not our president. We know the president. He don't operate like that. And for Wilson to take and do her little rodeo clown show all over the networks, just looking crazy, and ghetto, especially on The View, she should apologize to the whole nation to go somewhere and sit her behind down.
Well, how do you feel his wife widow is going to be on Good Morning America? She'll be on in about a few minutes here. Do you think that she'll just echo the same sentiment that Republican or Representative Wilson did?
Look, if they friends, I don't know. I don't know. The only thing is, I hate that she's being thrown into politics because it's nasty.
Right.
This here is very, very, very nasty. We should be talking about these fallen heroes, how they fought for our country, not politicizing this. So I'm disgusted by them politicizing everything, taking one thing and running with it. They always do this. Go ahead,
Phil. And for God's sake, stop using a fallen soldier as a tool just to gain some political gain.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. The other clip that we played, President Trump defending his use of Twitter amid, many calls from a lot of circles. Gosh, I wish he would use Twitter more sparingly. I wish somebody would copy edit it. I wish, that some of what he said via Twitter he didn't say. What's your? I mean, as somebody, frankly, a couple of ladies who've, you've sprungboard to stardom through the internet and through the ability to communicate your views via YouTube and all the other social media outlets. What's your take on the president's use of Twitter?
We don't have a problem with him using Twitter. If the president don't keep his own message out there, then the media will run their narrative, a narrative full of lies. Look at how they had this woman, Wilson, Congresswoman Wilson, on every network besides Fox, running around here acting crazy.
That's right.
So the president has to keep his own narrative. He has to tell us, because really, we don't look at the fake news a whole lot. We don't listen to them a whole lot. So the president has to keep it out there.
That's right. And if it wasn't for his Twitter account and him tweeting, we wouldn't know that unemployment is low, that the Dow it has made another record. We wouldn't know a whole lot of different things that's going on about the real Russian collusion. We would not know what's really going on because the very fake news don't report it.
They sure don't. They stay on this stuff with Wilson.
Well, there was one headline this weekend that made my blood boil. Here it is. Trump despicably plays golf instead of attending funeral of Sergeant LaDavid Johnson.
Okay, you see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
This is what I'm talking about. And see, this is why, for me, I try to back away. Now, I have to back away from Twitter because Twitter done gave us more letters.
Right.
So now I can really put the knife in and twist it. You see what I'm talking about? Okay, but you see what I'm saying? So if he would have showed up, then it would have been a problem. He's darn if you do, darn if you don't. And that's what bothers me with these Democrats, with these so-called congressmen and women. Any little thing he do, he can't do any right in their eyes. And that's why he's going to do another 4 years. They just handed him another 4 years because it's people that they're tired. They're tired of seeing this here. They're tired of them, period.
And just on the substance of some policy agenda items that I think are quite important with respect to the prospect of another 4 years or Republicans having another 2 years in control, the tax plan the president has proposed and is out promoting, and Paul Ryan suggesting that nobody leaves until we pass this out of the House. I don't know if McConnell is similarly inclined. But how important do you think that tax plan that the president proposed is in terms of his standing with middle-income families in America?
Oh, it's standing good.
Yeah.
Listen, people want those tax cuts. It's going to benefit everybody. And I think that they should pass them. Give us a good Christmas present.
That's right.
Pass those because that's going to benefit everybody down the line. Listen, this man is working for the people. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you why the media, the elites, the music industry, the Hollywood industry, why they're trying to take down this president. Because he's not beholden to those industries.
Right.
See, Obama, he worked for those industries. He pushed what they wanted. The president is going to push what the people want. We want tax cuts, and that's what we're going to get.
That's right.
All right, you heard it there. Diamond and Silk want tax cuts in their stockings for Christmas.
Yeah.
Diamond and Silk, hosts of The Viewer's View. Diamond and Silk, ladies, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
And they joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
There's only one